2 p.m. This is the Kootenai County Commissioners Business Meeting. In attendance is Commissioner Brooks on the telephone, Commissioner Matari, and Commissioner Duncan might join us later, but either way, she is excused. If I could, I'd like to call for a moment of silence. Okay. Next up is the pledge. Sylvia, could I get you to start us out?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Any changes to the agenda today? Hearing none. Public comment. Come on up.
Thank you, Commissioners. Ron Hartman for the record. This is with regards to number 18 on the agenda. Board approval request, Rose of Sharon Easement, to continue with where I left off this morning. The first question I think we need to ask is, how does the benefit and the people of the county benefit by allowing this to happen? And I can't give you a good reason. Another one, I got to thinking, there's a lot of people and houses that are already along the trail there. And I'm sure they bought their home there, or a lot of them did, because of the trail and because it was a safe place to let their children ride their bicycles. If you allow traffic on a crossing, I think that takes away from the people that have already bought around there and invested in there and probably have children that use that trail along with everybody else. And this is also a good opportunity to contain growth. And you've got a good reason, and it's public safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Nobody's on the phone? Okay. Let's move on to meeting minutes. I'll take a motion. Bill, do you want to make a motion?
There we go. I move that we approve meeting minutes 1 through 6.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Consent calendar.
I move that we approve items 7 through 9.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. If it's okay with you, I'll go ahead and run through the payables.
Okay, that's fine.
I move that we approve the payables from November 25 through 29, 2024 in the amount of $1,279,554.20.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay. First item is RFQ-Opening, Architectural Design Services, Project Support, Phase 1, Design and Construction, 2-Station Autopsy Lab with Building and Grounds. Let's see, is Jeff, you want to go ahead and...
Do we have any that have been submitted? I guess this is, basically you just need to make a motion to accept those into the record.
Yeah.
And then we'll print those and
We-
distribute them.
We just have the two, so I'll go ahead and make the motion. First, let me just read out the
Yes, just read the names.
companies. Design West Architects, 905 West Riverside Avenue, Suite 605, Spokane, Washington, 99201. And H2A Architects, PA, and that is 420 Indiana, Suite 100, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, 83814. And so I move that we acknowledge receipt of these documents.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, on to number 12. Bid award, sole source procurement, Access Unlimited and Security Inc., Building and Grounds, and this is an action item. Do you want to talk about that real quick, Jeff?
Yeah, this was actually Grant's line item on here as well, but yeah, this is for the Justice Center building. It's for the technology that we're going to be putting in there. Oh, Grant, you're here as well, so you can jump in on this if you need to as well, but it's basically the IT coordination that we'll be doing in that building.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, I guess, can we do 12 and 13 together, because it's an award and an approval?
Those are two different things.
Two different?
Yeah, so normally there'd be a resolution.
Okay.
Attached to this, but I spoke to Commissioner Duncan, and she intends to have the actual written resolution put on the consent calendar for next week.
Okay,
So approval of this sole source procurement and a pending written resolution, I think, is what's before the board right now.
okay. I'll go ahead and take a motion, unless you have any questions, Bill?
No, I don't have any questions. I move that we approve the bid award, sole source procurement with Access Unlimited and Security Inc. For Building and Grounds.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari,
Aye. Okay, motion is approved. Next up is board approval request, purchase order for door and camera security justice expansion with information technology.
Yeah, Commissioners, as you noted, this is related to the previous item. This is just the purchase order to send to the company so they can have a signed document to, so they can start securing equipment.
Okay, any questions, Bill?
No questions.
All right, I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve the request for purchase order of the door and security justice expansion with IT, for IT.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari,
Aye. Okay, that is approved. Next up is item 14. Financial budget authorization to pay invoice for Grace Tree Service with Parks and Waterways. And do we have Director Snyder on the phone?
Yes, Commissioner. Thank you. Nick Snyder for the record. Indeed, before you is a request to pay an invoice in the amount of $12,130.61 to Grace Tree Services necessary for the removal and disposal of hazardous trees at Fernand Park.
Okay, questions, motion?
I move that we approve the authorization to pay the invoice for Grace Tree Service from Parks and Waterways for removal of trees.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari,
Aye. Okay, motion is approved. Next up, item 15, board approval request, new canine purchase and quote from the Sheriff's Office. And we have Lieutenant Headland.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Lieutenant Eric Headland for the record. November 4th, unanimously approved Resolution 2024-81, which was the medical retirement of Canine Lord and removal of that canine as a county asset. And we're now asking to replace Canine Lord with another canine as an asset for the Sheriff's Office. We attached for you guys a quote for the cost to purchase, the initial purchase of the dog, and then also the initial training of the dog with the handler, which would come out to $21,899.75, which is consistent with approximate costs of previous purchase of canines with that initial training. And this, as in the past, we intend to purchase a dog using those canine donation funds that we have used in the past. In addition, when I wrote this memo to you guys, and we got this on the docket, we were in the process of getting an ICRIM claim for Canine Lord. That has since been approved, and I believe the check has been received by the county. And so if we can do it at the same time, we'd be requesting that those funds from that ICRIM claim of $21,374 be transferred to that canine fund so we can use those towards the purchase of the dog, the equipment, and the additional training for that dog as we've done in the past.
Is that something that we can include in the
It's not on
motion?
the agenda, so I think the acceptance of those funds and then putting them back into the sheriff's office budget should be done on a different agenda item.
Okay.
Now, I'm fine with that. It just came between the calendar items.
Yeah,
and
no,
such,
that's
so-
fine. It's not listed. That's why I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to confirm that. So thank you. Okay. Questions? Motion?
Yeah, what is the name of the new dog?
We have not selected the dog yet. We're awaiting approval.
Okay.
Tentatively, the first part of January, we'd be able to go to the kennel, and the handler would make the selection of the dog at that point, and we'd learn the name and go from there.
What breed of dog is it?
Again, we're not sure. It'd be dependent on which dog tests the best. There'll be several dogs down there, and our handlers will observe and test those dogs. The last few that we've had have been Malinois, but that's just because they tested the best. So we'll see if the same happens again.
Thank you.
All right. Motion?
I move that we approve the request for a new canine purchase and quote for the sheriff's patrol.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next up is item 16, an MOU, Basic Academy Services with North Idaho College and the Sheriff's Office, Under Sheriff Nelson.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Under Sheriff Brett Nelson for the record. I come before you today just to seek approval and renewal of our MOU with the NIC for purposes of overseeing the basic patrol and detention academies along with the communications or dispatch academy. Notable in this is that NIC has agreed and increased their compensation or offsetting our costs from $100,000 to $150,000 this year.
Okay, questions?
No.
Okay, and go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to,
Go ahead. That's fine.
there's a delay. So this is, so they're increasing how much they're paying us.
That's correct. And
Yeah.
we're continuously working with them to offset our costs.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say, I move that we approve the MOU for Basic Academy Services with North Idaho College and their sheriff's office.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion is approved. Next up is item 17, Board Approval Request, Updated Service Agreement with Environmental Control with the Sheriff's Office and Under Sheriff Nelson again.
Tom Reed on the phone.
Tom.
Maintenance. Maintenance. This is an amendment to the current janitorial service agreement with environmental control. It's an increase in cost for additional services to accommodate more days and services. It's roughly about $12,000 to the yearly contract. It will decrease once the sheriff's moved completely. So this just kind of covers all the spaces that we're occupying currently.
So it's more of an interim charge until the office is moved completely over to Hayden?
Correct. It'll drop down about $600, closer to what we are currently.
Okay. Questions, motion?
I move that we approve the request for updated services agreement with environmental control initiative.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks. Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is item 18, Board Approval Request, Rose of Sharon Easement Agreement with Community Development, and I have Ben Tarbutton, but also Director Callahan here.
Thank you, Commissioners. David Callahan, Community Development Director. I wanted to lead off on this because I understand from this morning there are questions that are still unanswered. We have reached out, but we don't have answers to the questions that came up. In your shoes, I would be tempted to table this one indefinitely. And largely because, in hindsight, I think this is the kind of case that the City of Post Falls staff should have been in charge of and should have been in front of you from the beginning. And frankly, from my experience, they should have started that at the same time that the subdivision first started with them. Because typically these kinds of subdivisions only work under the city's municipal code if those 2 points of access are known from the beginning. And that, that's really the long and short of it. So we've tried to be helpful because we can. There's no other department in the county that does these kinds of things. But in this particular situation, I'd be inclined to put the monkey back on the city's back, if you will, and let them drive it from here on out.
Okay. Well, I don't really see the benefit of us being the representative of the applicant for these things. So I would agree. Commissioner Brooks, any thoughts?
I would move that we put the monkey back on their back.
Okay. Well, I don't think we need to make that a motion, so we can just pass on this. Right?
You don't.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 19, Facility Use License Agreement, Greater Kootenai County Fire Prevention Cooperative, Inc., with the Office of Emergency Management, and I have Sarah Long. Are you on the phone?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is Sarah Long for the record. The purpose of this agreement is to allow the Greater Kootenai County Fire Prevention Cooperative, or also known as the Co-op, an opportunity to use about a 30-foot by 30-foot piece of land here at the Office of Emergency Management. The land will be used for parking a fire prevention and safety house trailer, as well as placing like a 10-foot by 20-foot storage shed for storing fire prevention materials and resources. Our facility is centrally located for all partners in the co-op, and we do have the space for it. These materials are used for community events across the county to enhance the preparedness and overall resilience of the Kootenai County residents. This agreement was drafted by legal, and we are asking for your approval.
Thank you. Questions? Motion?
No questions. I move that we approve the facilities use license agreement with the Greater Kootenai County Fire Prevention Cooperative and the Office of Emergency Management.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Latari.
Aye. Okay, motion is approved. Next up, item 20, Administrative Services Contract, ASC, Fee Schedule Addendum 2024, Regence, Blue Shield of Idaho, with HR, and we have Director Sylvia Proud.
Sylvia Proud for the record. As discussed earlier today, we are bringing forward several components of our contract with Regence for 2024, and the first one is the Admin Services Contract Fee Schedule Addendum. And what that schedule does is it outlines the fees and other Regence services that we have for claims administration and other type of services that they're providing for us. And we've been working under this fee schedule since January of 24.
Okay. Bill, questions? Motion?
No questions. I move that we approve the Administrative Services Contract ACS Fee Schedule Addendum in 2024 with Regency Blue Shield of Idaho and our HR department.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Latari.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, item 21. I'd love to do all these together, but I think we should really keep them separate. Next item is 21, Stop Loss Fee Schedule Addendum 2024 with Regence Blue Shield of Idaho and Human Resources. And Sylvia?
Sylvia Proud for the record. The stop loss fee schedule outlines the fees for covering catastrophic and unpredictable losses when a claim reaches the threshold negotiated of $200,000 per individual.
Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the stop loss fee schedule addendum 2024 with the Regency Blue Shield of Idaho and HR.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 22, Stop Loss Rate Cap Guarantee Addendum 2024, Regence, Blue Shield of Idaho, with HR and Sylvia.
Sylvia Proud for the record. In this addendum, Regence guarantees that the individual stop loss unit cost will not be increased more than 50%. So it's in our agreement that they would have up to that amount to increase it. The dog gets the show, sorry. So basically it limits the amount they would raise that fee to us each year.
Okay, it's a little too early for the motion from the dog, but questions, motion?
I move that we approve the stop loss rate gap guarantee addendum 2024 with Regency, Blue Shield of Idaho, and HR.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, item 23, Stop Loss Insurance Agreement Experience Rated Refund Program Addendum 2024 with Regence, Blue Shield of Idaho, and HR, and Sylvia again.
Sylvia Proud for the record. With this addendum, Kootenai County would be eligible for an experience rated refund based on positive claims experience, based on our individual stop loss coverage. We would be eligible to receive up to an amount of 35% of net surplus from the positive claims experience.
Okay, questions, motion?
I move that we approve the stop loss insurance agreement experience rated refund program addendum 2024 with Regency, Blue Shield of Idaho, and HR.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion carries. Final item, number 24, amendment retro to, I believe that's 1/1/2021, to add annual enroll period and increase incrementally standard insurance company with HR, and we have, is it CK? You going to do that?
CK Kirkpatrick for the record. What this is an amendment to the original standard agreement that goes back when we first started working with standard, January 1 of 2021. We've been doing this in practice correctly. They just needed to update their amendment to reflect the ability to add an annual enrollment period to the policy, and then also to accommodate incremental increases that employees can request for voluntary life insurance. So incrementals 10,000 or 20,000 each year, depending on whether they're a late entrant or a current coverage from the previous year. So we've been doing this. They just needed to have this updated in that contract for standard.
Okay, thank you. Questions, motion?
I move that we approve the amendment retroactive 1/1/21 to add annual enrollment period and increase incrementally with the standard insurance company and HR.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is public comment. Seeing or hearing none, 2:24, meeting adjourned. Thank you.